Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm Blitz5, and today is August 10th, 2018, and the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta has finally been released on Xbox One. So we've obviously been waiting for this because it's been out on PlayStation last week. Now it's on Xbox, and I figured I would make this video my first impressions video of the game. So this finally came out on, what was it, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the time zone that I play on. I downloaded it and I played for about a couple hours. And like I said, I figured I would make this my first impressions of those games and that experience so far. So first thing I want to preface this, obviously just my opinion of the game. I've played every single Call of Duty since the launch, since Call of Duty 1, like however many years ago, over 10 years ago. And also, I haven't been playing Call of Duty that much recently, and I haven't been following all the stuff with Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So I kind of felt like I was out of the loop here, especially when I got into the game, and so many things were different. So I think that's my first criticism of the game, but I'm sure this is kind of just something coming in, being a new player again, that I just have to deal with, and that everybody will. But I feel like most people, when you get into the game, you're going to feel very confused because they changed a lot of the menu system and how to use a lot of things in the game. The core of the game, like aiming, switching weapons, and all that stuff, is the same. But as soon as you try to use a score streak or anything like that, it's completely different. It's like you have to hold Y now to use a score streak. Different things pop up. Switching classes feels a lot different. It just kind of feels clunky, but I think a lot of that stuff will probably go away as you play the game more. But it kind of just ruined the experience for me starting off, because one thing that's so great about Call of Duty, even though it gets so much criticism over the years and people say it's the franchise is declining and all that stuff, is that no matter what you're doing when you pick up a Call of Duty game, it always feels the same. It's kind of like just riding a bike. No matter what version of the game you're playing, it kind of feels the same. And then the only issue with that is that the Black Ops 3 and this game make it feel a little bit different. And I just don't know if I really like that. It feels a lot different, especially after going back to Call of Duty World War II, which felt like an old Call of Duty, and I actually really did enjoy that. This just feels like a completely different game. I mean, the character feels a lot bigger. It feels like you're almost playing like a Gears of War style game. So it's just kind of hard to transition from one to the other. But then after playing for about 2 hours in this game that I'm showing you guys here, this is one of the better games that I had, which doesn't really say much because I didn't do that great. But after playing for 2 hours, a lot of the game mechanics started to come back to me, and I started to get the controls a little bit. But at first, it was just a complete disaster, and it was kind of hard to understand everything that was happening. And then also on top of that, we have the whole specialist thing, which is part of the Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 gameplay. And I don't really know if I'm a huge fan of that. It really does change the game up a lot. I mean, it switches it a little bit with you having your two different perks. So you have like each specialist has their own like tactical equipment thing. And then when you level up, you get a weapon, which I have here. I have this like shock sniper rifle, which I was missing a lot of shots with, but it kind of stuns them. And then you're able to kill them and you get some extra points on stuff. I got a nice double kill and then got blown up by a grenade. So that's kind of cool. I get why they do it to just kind of change a pace here, but to me, it's just not very Call of Duty, and I wish it really wasn't in the game. And also, a couple other things I noticed is that because you're looking at your health, which is left bumper, and your specialist, which is right bumper, that you really don't have a grenade. And then I looked, and the frag grenades don't become unlocked until level 29, and right now in the beta it's really slow to level up right now. So I thought that's kind of interesting. It seems like they're kind of trying to move away maybe from the frag grenade, and because that just gives you a lot of kills, or you can toss them across the map. Maybe it's like less skilled. I don't really know what their position is on that. But in one of the other game types, you do have access to grenades by buying them, which is a whole different game type. It's called Heist, and it's kind of like Counter-Strike. And even in that, the grenade felt completely different. Most of the times, the grenades in Call of Duty feel exactly the same. And this looked like it was from Battlefield or something like that. It didn't even look like a Call of Duty grenade, which is kind of different because, like I said, everything is kind of supposed to feel somewhat the same when you're playing Call of Duty, at least in my opinion, because they've been so similar over the years. And then another thing here is my screen, my webcam is kind of blocking it, but we have the new improved mini-map system, and this really does make a huge impact on the game, because what they wanted to, at least what I heard them state, is that they wanted to get away from everybody just looking at the mini-map. And I have to say that when I play Call of Duty, that's usually just what I do. I just look at the mini-map the entire time. Sometimes I'm not even like looking at the screen, just at the mini-map and running around. And in this, UAVs are a lot harder to get. It's hard to stay alive, so there's not many UAVs up. And also, you only get a limited area of the fog of war that clears out from where your enemies are looking. And there's some perks and stuff like that that improve that. But the default system here is that you really don't see as much on your minimap until people are shooting like right next to you or right next to your teammates, which eventually kind of becomes the same thing. But when you're running around in the beginning of the match, or if there's nobody shooting, you really have no idea where the enemies are. And I feel like, to be honest with you, the spawning system ended up being pretty decent, which is rare for Call of Duty. I didn't have any spawn issues or see anybody get into a spawn issue or spawn trap the enemy. So something that I didn't really think about until right now is that the spawns seem to be pretty good, but who knows? It's just the beginning of the beta on Xbox. So I'm sure somebody will figure out some kind of spawn trap and ruin that, and then they'll have to fix it. But so far, that's pretty good. This map was okay, kind of standard. A lot of doorways here, like a lot of different entries. Pretty standard, like modern map for Call of Duty. Did notice that they did kind of stay true to the boots on the ground. So it feels like Black Ops 3, World War II, and like Infinite Warfare kind of had a baby and merged together to make this game, which is kind of an interesting thing. And yeah, I guess going from that, I mean, after playing for a while, like I said, started to feel more like a Call of Duty. I started to play a little bit better. When I started off, I had like less than a 1 KD, which I was shocked by. I just couldn't believe it. And then in this gameplay, I think I ended up with over a 2.0. And something interesting here, this is just regular team deathmatch, is that you can actually track how much damage you've done to the enemy team. That's one of the stats here. So it looks like they've kind of stepped up that. And then playing in domination, stuff like that, they didn't even show you how many kills. They wanted to make it completely objective based. So it seems like they have the right intentions here. They're making the game more interesting. But I hope that they can kind of, I don't know, the game feels so cluttered on the screen. There's so much stuff going on. There's so many different colors, options, noises that it's like sensory overload for me. And maybe it's just because I'm used to playing the old school Call of Duties, and this is more for the younger crowd. I'm not really sure, but it's going to be, it's going to be a while till I really figure out what my true opinion of this game. And I guess before the video ends, I forgot to mention about the health thing, because this to me was the biggest hurdle to this game. I thought that not having the regular regenerated health would be like the worst part of the game, and that you have to actually hit left bumper, and that it would just create this weird extra mechanic and people would glitch it out, and that it's annoying to have to remember. But I have to say that I kind of picked it up pretty quickly, and I get it. I think it actually adds a nice mechanic. I'm surprised I'm saying that, but it actually works out, and it doesn't seem like you can really abuse it too bad. I feel like there's a perk or something where you can use it while you're shooting still, but right now you kind of have to stop, you hide, you go into cover, and you use it. And then in some game types, you actually have to like look for health. So it makes it a little bit more strategic instead of just always having some health and regenerating and all that stuff. And you kind of have to hide. So it kind of actually slows down the gameplay a little bit, which is nice because Call of Duty is still really fast paced, but then it also makes it a little bit more tactical at the same time. And I feel like they're kind of finding a balance here. So far so good. I really like it, but I got to play a lot more of this beta to figure out what my true opinion of it is, and I think that's pretty good for first impressions right now. Let me know what you guys think. If you've downloaded the beta, definitely hit me up on Xbox at Blitz5, and I'll be posting some more Call of Duty and PUBG content this weekend. So thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5, and peace out.